You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for joining us this Thursday. I'm Ann Makovic, and here's a look at some of our news headlines this morning. Everyone in the city of Benicia under an emergency order to conserve water, all because of damage to a major pipeline. That is near Goodyear Road and Morrow Lane. The city is asking residents and businesses to cut water use by 40%. We asked one man if he was surprised that one pipe burst can cause an issue for the whole city.
I think it's been an ongoing issue for the last couple years. I don't know if our city can manage their money or what's going on, so it's kind of ridiculous, I think.
For now, Benicia is relying on water from Lake Herman. The city says it might taste quite, quote, earthy, but it is safe to drink. No word on what caused the pipeline damage or how long this conservation order is going to last. The suspect in a triple homicide at a home in San Jose is in custody today. Police say 27-year-old Joseph Vincencio shot and killed 3 people, a man and 2 women, just after midnight on Tuesday on Chenoweth Avenue. He has been booked on suspicion of murder and is being held without bail. The motive for the killing still under investigation. ABC has suspended Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely after comments he made about the killing of Charlie Kirk. The late-night host accused conservatives of trying to score political points off Kirk's death. He suggested that the shooter was a MAGA Republican. Earlier, the FCC chairman, a Trump appointee, said he considered revoking ABC affiliate licenses to force the company to cancel Kimmel. Today, President Trump wraps up his historic second state visit to the United Kingdom. This morning, Trump and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer signed a tech investment deal in London. They are calling it the Tech Prosperity Deal.
This new accord is already helping spur a massive wave of private sector deals worth over $350 billion alone.
We have huge new investments from NVIDIA, Nscale, OpenAI, Google, Salesforce, and many more.
The 2 leaders also discussed the wars in Gaza and Ukraine. President Trump voicing frustration over the offensive by Russia and said that President Vladimir Putin has let him down. NVIDIA is investing $5 billion in Intel. The 2 Silicon Valley chip makers will team up to develop technology for computers and data centers amid a huge demand in AI. This comes a month after the White House took a 10% stake in Intel. Well, today is a first alert weather day because of some chances of lightning. Also a bit muggier and a lot cooler today. As we take a look outside from our Mark Hopkins hotel camera, let's get over to meteorologist Jessica Birch with a check on our forecast.
Well, we have cooler temperatures, stormy skies, and higher relative humidity as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours. Daytime highs today dropped down significantly compared to where we were at yesterday. Yesterday, we were under a moderate to high heat risk off into our inland spots. Today, we're actually sitting below average in places like Antioch, Concord, all the way up into Santa Rosa this afternoon, sitting in the 70s up there. We're also gearing up for 70 stretch down into Redwood City. Yesterday, we were 15 degrees above average in Redwood City. Now we're right where we should be for this time of year. Now, as this area of low pressure moves in from the south, it's doing a lot to our forecast. It's bringing in stormier weather starting later tonight. It's also bringing us cooler weather as we wrap up this week, heading into this weekend. And this system, it's actually the leftovers from Tropical Storm Mario. As it continues to wring out its moisture, moving its way to the north, it's going to bring in some stormy skies for us into the evening hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow. We're monitoring the system very closely as it pushes its way throughout the bay and all the way throughout the Sacramento Valley too. Of course, rain is great, and we love rain here in the Bay Area, but what we don't love is lightning activity, and that's what we're keeping a close eye on when it comes to that storm system moving its way throughout the Bay Area throughout the next 48 hours. So let's take a look at something else too. It's not only bringing in some stormy conditions and some showers in the forecast, but it's also delivering some cooler weather. I mean, we're talking about daytime highs down into the low 80s today and tomorrow before we get a little bit of a warm up as we head into this weekend's forecast. At the same time, we still have some unsettled weather early next week, as early as Tuesday, so that's something else we're keeping a close eye on. But for now, take a look at this night and day difference. Today we're in the 70s in the Bay. We're holding on tight to 70s tomorrow with stormy conditions moving to the north into the evening hours tomorrow night.
An historic season now over for the Golden State Valkyries. The team was eliminated in Game 2 of the playoffs last night at SAP Center. The top-seeded Minnesota Lynx won by a single point, 75-74. We caught up with one of the players who says despite the loss, this season has been a special one.
Incredible experience. This was an incredible team, a group of women that are really great people and obviously ballers too, but I think it's bigger than basketball right now, and just appreciating where we are, appreciating being in the Bay in front of this fan base. It's just been really special.
Despite the loss, the team has shown up and showed out throughout its inaugural season, and the crowd supported them every step of the way. Andrea Nakano spoke with fans in the South Bay who are already looking forward to next season.
There was no way season ticket holder Marcy Glass was missing the Valkyries' first home playoff game in franchise history, even if it's a bit farther away than expected.
I'm glad I don't have to do it every week, but the team needed me. I had to come down and cheer them on.
Because of the Laver Cup tennis tournament at Chase Center, the Valkyries transformed the House of Teal to Violet Wonderland.
It's sort of like we brought Chase energy down here. There's a lot of very familiar faces, actually. I think a lot of people came down.
Marcy brought her Aunt Jane to her first ever Valkyries game, all decked out in violet sparkles.
It's perfect for me. You know, it's 20 minutes from my house.
Jane Crutchy played high school hoops and is amazed how far the women's game has come.
I'm so excited that it's a women's team, and the encouragement, especially for young girls and women, is just thrilling. Because, you know, when I was in high school, we played basketball, but it was when you had 3 on each side. You couldn't even play the full court. And so, you know, we've come a long way.
Jane, when you were playing 3-on-3 basketball, did you ever imagine females would be like
No, never. Yeah. That was a lot of years ago.
The Valkyries came out fighting, but just couldn't hold on to the lead at the end, bringing a historic inaugural season to an end.
It was a great game, great season. We'll be back next year, and we're going to move on a little further.
They put their heart into it. Everybody was playing up to par. It's a great game. Good effort.
Despite the loss, Marcy says this season exceeded her expectations.
Honestly, seeing all the little girls and little boys, seeing women succeed on a big stage like that, I didn't get to see that when I was a little kid. And so it's been very healing, actually.
Well, the Valkyries are the first expansion franchise to reach the playoffs in their inaugural season. Like Andrea said, their home game last night was not at Chase Center because it was already booked for the Laver Cup. That 3-day tournament is taking over Chase Center in Thrive City this weekend. The world's best tennis players making their way to the Bay Area for it, and that tourney is pitting Europe versus the world. Team Europe is led by the current U.S. Open champion Carlos Alcaraz, while American player Taylor Fritz is leading Team World. Practice starts today in a free fan zone, also opening up at Thrive City. The tournament officially starts tomorrow and runs through Sunday. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area. Those candy bars and M&Ms, you might not see them where you usually do at the grocery store. How one local county is trying to crack down on junk food.
And everyone will benefit from it.
Food placement matters. Food companies spend billions of dollars to secure placement of unhealthy products in checkout aisles.
Plus, with fall around the corner, pumpkin patches are getting ready to open up for business. We are at one in the South Bay with a pretty monstrous twist this year.
The first parade of its kind rolls into KPIX Plus September 20th. From the smooth rides of the 40s to the flash and chrome of the 80s, watch custom lowriders bounce, hop, and roll with style. Award-winning Chevys, classic Fords, and pure automotive artistry. Join Sarah Donchi and myself for King of the Streets Parade, Saturday, September 20th at 1 p.m. Only on KPIX Plus and CBS News Bay Area.
Stormy weather is expected for us into the evening hours tonight. That lingers into our Friday forecast. And take a look at these numbers, too. Daytime highs today and tomorrow, both holding on tight to the 80s. This is our inland forecast, by the way. Places that we're dealing with 15-degree above average temperatures just yesterday are finally starting to see that relief in sight when it comes to cooler weather. And the rain is great too, but what we're keeping a very close eye on, of course, is the thunderstorm activity. If we see lightning, that's what we're concerned about here in the Weather Center. We're going to continue to monitor that closely today and tomorrow before we clear up heading into this weekend.
Well, another huge shakeup in late-night television we've been talking about today. ABC suspending Jimmy Kimmel's long-running late-night show indefinitely. That comes after an angry response to comments made about the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Reporter Jonathan Vigliotti has more on the reaction from the entertainment world and the president.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Days after police arrested the man suspected of assassinating conservative activist Charlie Kirk, this was Jimmy Kimmel's reaction Monday night.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
In response, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, a Trump appointee, appeared to threaten broadcasters Wednesday while speaking on a conservative podcast.
They have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Hours later, Nexstar, the country's largest local broadcasting group, announced it would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for the foreseeable future on its stations, calling his monologue, quote, offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse. And shortly after, ABC said it would pull its late-night host off the air indefinitely. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
When a private employer takes action against a private employee for speech, that's not a First Amendment issue. That, generally speaking, is an employment-based issue.
Celebrities like Ben Stiller and Gene Smart were quick to defend Kimmel. Comedian Wanda Sykes, who is scheduled to appear as Kimmel's guest Wednesday, accused the Trump administration of ending free speech.
Hey, for those of you who pray, now's the time to do it. Love you, Jimmy.
Reacting to the news Wednesday night, President Trump called it great news for America. Kimmel has routinely taken aim at the president in his late-night monologues, and he's subsequently been a target of Trump's ire, including after CBS announced it was canceling its late show franchise with Stephen Colbert, citing financial concerns.
I guess that wasn't enough for El Presidente because he posted, the word is, and it's a strong word at that, Jimmy Kimmel is next to go in the untalented late-night sweepstakes. You want us to be canceled because we make jokes about you? I thought you were against cancel culture. I thought that was like their whole thing.
We must be careful not to allow the government to punish critics simply because of content.
Ana Gomez is one of two FCC commissioners working with Carr. She was appointed by former President Joe Biden and called Kimmel's suspension a dangerous new precedent.
This administration is increasingly using the weight of government power to suppress lawful expression, not because it glorifies violence or breaks the law, but because it challenges those in power and reflects views they oppose.
And we asked Jimmy Kimmel and his reps for comment, but we haven't heard back. We should note that Nexstar decided to preempt Kimmel's show as it seeks FCC approval for a $6.2 billion merger with another media company.
Well, Governor Gavin Newsom reacting to the news on X last night saying, quote, buying and controlling media platforms, firing commentators, canceling shows. These aren't coincidences. It's coordinated and it's dangerous. The GOP does not believe in free speech. They are censoring you in real time. Well, this all comes in the wake of CBS pulling the plug on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. The network says budget cuts are to blame, but it comes after Colbert criticized Paramount for settling a lawsuit with President Trump, and that comes just weeks after Colbert won his first Emmy for Outstanding Talk Series. California and several other Western states are breaking from President Trump's CDC policies with a new law. Governor Newsom, along with leaders in Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii, announcing vaccine recommendations through the West Coast Health Alliance. Yesterday, Newsom also signed a law allowing the state to set its own immunization policy. The California Department of Public Health followed the recent announcement with its official immunization recommendations. It calls for COVID, flu, and RSV vaccinations for all children and adults with risk factors. Well, if you've ever been standing in line at the checkout line at a grocery store and grab a candy bar during the wait, one Bay Area county is taking notice. Contra Costa County making an effort to remove unhealthy items at grocery store checkouts. Our Brad Hamilton spoke with the group behind the push and a store that's already embracing the change.
In unincorporated Contra Costa County, the impulse buy at the checkout line might be a thing of the past, but the woman behind the movement says there's more buy-in than you might think.
In Adam Saba's world, stocking shelves with what the customers want is the name of the game. The manager of Billy Bly's Ranch Market in Bay Point can name every item and where they belong on every aisle.
Our way to give back to the community.
But what you won't find in his checkout line, the sodas, sweets, and savory favorites you'd see nearly everywhere else.
Fruits, vegetables, snack bars, healthy snack bars, protein bars.
And that is exactly what Ali Wolgamuth wants to see elsewhere, if not everywhere.
And food placement matters. Food companies spend billions of dollars to secure placement of unhealthy products in checkout aisles.
For several years, Ali's team at Bay Area Community Resources has worked to complete a simple mission: get junk food away from the checkout line.
So that when we're waiting in line for 10 minutes, to make our final purchases, the products that are sitting in front of us while we wait and wait and wait are the healthier snack options, right?
The idea first passed as a city ordinance in Berkeley several years ago, and now the cleanup at Checkpoint appears headed to the unincorporated parts of Contra Costa County. On Tuesday night, the Board of Supervisors passed an ordinance that would remove unhealthy items at checkout in stores that are larger than 2,000 square feet.
We really want to make that choice the healthiest choice and the easiest choice for our customers.
Harleen Sadu, senior health specialist for the county, is in charge of helping around 40 businesses adjust to this potential policy. So far, she says the feedback has been positive.
And they really understand the importance of this, and they also understand that this is just a way to increase access for their customers.
But what she does make clear to each management team, this isn't a ban on bad food. It's just about putting the temptation in a less convenient spot.
Overwhelmingly, their customers are asking for more healthy options. We found that out through us talking to our community members as well as talking to our retail owners.
And for managers like Adam, that's how you build trust with your customer. Easy money isn't always good money, just like easy food isn't always good food.
Better community, we have better health, and it's for everyone, and everyone will benefit from it.
A final vote on the ordinance is set for October 7th, and if passed, it will take effect 30 days later. But the first year of inspection, Ali says, there will be no penalties. It will only be education.
And again, this ordinance will only apply to the unincorporated parts of Contra Costa County. Stores in cities like Richmond, Concord, and Walnut Creek will not be affected. A Whole Foods market in the South Bay that was shut down for months because of rodents has been given the okay to reopen. That store is located on Stevens Creek Boulevard in Cupertino, down the street from Highway 85 and De Anza College. It's been closed since April after Santa Clara County inspectors found rodent droppings throughout the building, including the deli and bakery sections. In a statement to KPIX, the health department said the store passed 2 recent inspections and cleared the store to reopen. Whole Foods tells us that'll happen on the 29th. Monday is the first official day of fall, ready or not, and one pumpkin patch in Morgan Hill is already opening up today to kick off the season. It's an 80-year-old pumpkin patch, one of the Bay Area's largest, with mechanic dinosaurs, hay rides, and pumpkin cannons. Our Veronica Macias is at Spina Farms with what to expect.
We are at Spina Farms in Morgan Hill, and look at this guy. He is new this year. And it's starting to feel like fall out here in Santa Clara County, so it is just perfect. It is just beautiful with all the flowers and all the pumpkins surrounding this entire farm, 80 acres. Let's go ahead and bring in the Pumpkin King, is what we call him, Gary. This place has been so popular. It's long lines on the weekend. You're trying to make that better for people by bringing them in during the week and also having more security.
more security, the traffic control plan we have this year is really going to alleviate a lot of the buildup on the road. We're going to be able to get them into the park.
And what's so special for bringing people during the week rather than the weekend?
So during the week, we're offering half price on ticket prices here on Tuesdays, I believe, and then giving free pumpkins away on Wednesdays
They have lots to see out here now. They have the King Spina, the dinosaurs, and some new rides.
Right, and we got 15 new animatronic.
You go all out.
We go all out. Every year we keep adding to make the experience better and keep people coming back.
And look, you got the gear and everything. So when you come out here, the kiddos can get the King Spina hats, the shirts, and just have some family fun. And at the end of it all these flowers are going to sell for Dia de los Muertos, right?
Right, exactly.
So come out here, have some family fun with your family, and enjoy fall.
Well, Spina Farms is open 7 days a week until November 3rd. Admission to the pumpkin patch is free, and tickets for the attractions can only be purchased on site. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, the 49ers preparing for their home opener Sunday at Levi's Stadium. We're going to have a sneak peek of what the faithful can expect on the menu.
As great as rain is for us here in the Bay Area, the big concern has to do with the thunderstorm activity. We could see a chance for lightning in the forecast as we head into the next 48 hours, and that's what we're keeping a very close eye on. Of course, we are in the middle of summer, and it is still fire weather season, so that's what we're monitoring closely here in the Bay Area. By the way, take a look at these numbers around me. A lot more mild, right? I mean, we're talking about 80s into the Santa Clara Valley, 70s up into wine country, 60s along the coast. That actually puts us right where we should be for this time of year in certain pockets of the Bay, a little bit below average, anywhere from San Jose all the way over into places like San Francisco. You pass the Golden Gate Bridge up into the North Bay, even cooler conditions up there. Santa Rosa, 6 degrees below average today. And you take a look at the next 7 days. What does that do for us? Well, we're going to continue to see daytime highs below average today and tomorrow before we start to slowly warm up as that area of low pressure moves its way to the north. We're also going to dry up too into this weekend. We'll return into the 90s in the East Bay and the North Bay by Sunday into Monday, but we're still monitoring some unsettled weather as early as next Tuesday. That's going to be the next storm system we keep a close eye on. For now, though, the first system moves in tonight. And as it moves in tonight, we're going to keep a close eye on rainfall totals. We're also going to keep a close eye on those daytime highs staying below average as we head into our Friday forecast. That's how we're kicking off this weekend with stormy weather, which is wild to think that earlier this week, the big story, like I said, had to do with moderate to high heat risk. The system's going to move in. It's going to bring in a decent amount of showers, especially in our inland spots. We'll clear up as we head into this weekend. We'll see sunny skies to kick off next week. And just like our inland spots, we're going to monitor that storm system next Tuesday very closely.
Well, the 49ers are going to play their home opener on Sunday against the Cardinals. But as Matt Lively explains, they're not sure right now who's going to be playing quarterback.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
Brock Purdy was back on the practice field with the 49ers on Wednesday, and Kyle Shanahan said that there's a chance he could play in the home opener against the Cardinals this Sunday.
Mainly just how he's feeling and how he thinks he can go, what he thinks he can do today. What does he think he could do tomorrow, Friday, and Sunday?
There's no uncertainty about the quarterback on defense. Fred Warner's performance against the New Orleans Saints in Week 2 earned him NFC Defensive Player of the Week honors for the 4th time in his career.
I feel like you can almost get that every week. But Fred's having a hell of a year so far. Can't think of a year he hasn't, though.
The guy's a freak, man. He's special every single week. We know if 5-4 is on our team and he's leading that defense, we have a chance.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
And with the 49ers finally back at Levi's this weekend, fans won't have any trouble finding food for the first home game of the season. If you didn't already fill up in the parking lot, they are going to have savory favorites from pizzas to tacos, plus another food getting a major upgrade.
Desserts, I think, people forget about desserts. But it's something that at the end of the day, you're here a while, and you're going to have that sweet tooth. We turned a portable into a dessert stand, and it's been actually doing pretty well in our off-season.
So some of the sweet options include strawberry milkshakes, croissant beignets, and cheesecake parfait. For more on this weekend's matchup, join Vern Glenn and Matt for the Red and Gold Report tomorrow night, 7:30 on KPIX and streaming on the free CBS News app. Coming up in our next half hour here on CBS News Bay Area, a Bay Area school fully embracing artificial intelligence in the classroom. How these third graders are using the new tech to improve their reading skills.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for being with us this Thursday. I'm Ann Makovic, and here's a look at some of our news headlines. If you live in the city of Benicia, you're under an emergency order right now to conserve water. The city says it's all because of damage to a major pipeline that is near Goodyear Road in Morrow Lane. So the city is asking residents and businesses to cut water use by 40%. For now, Benicia is relying on water from Lake Herman, so they say it may taste, quote, earthy, but they say it is safe to drink. No word on what caused the damage to that pipeline or how long this conservation order will last. The suspect in a triple homicide at a home in San Jose is in custody today. Someone shot and killed 3 people, a man and 2 women, just after midnight Tuesday on Chenoweth Avenue. And now officers have identified this man, 27-year-old Joseph Vicencio, as the suspect. He has been booked on suspicion of murder and is being held without bail. The motive for the killings still under investigation. And 3 police officers were killed, 2 injured in a shooting in Pennsylvania. Law enforcement says the officers were trying to arrest a suspect yesterday and serve a restraining order involving the suspect's ex-girlfriend. Officials say the shooter wore camouflage and waited in a cornfield when officers arrived. After a gunfight with police, the suspect was found dead. He has been identified now as 24-year-old Matthew James Ruth. Officials say the 2 injured officers are in critical but stable condition. All right, let's get another check on our forecast on this first alert weather day with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Well, we have cooler temperatures, stormy skies, and higher relative humidity as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours. Daytime highs today dropped down significantly compared to where we were at yesterday. Yesterday, we were under a moderate to high heat risk off into our inland spots. Today, we're actually sitting below average in places like Antioch, Concord, all the way up into Santa Rosa this afternoon, sitting in the 70s up there. We're also gearing up for 70s stretch down into Redwood City. Yesterday, we were 15 degrees above average in Redwood City. Now we're right where we should be for this time of year. Now, as this area of low pressure moves in from the south, it's doing a lot to our forecast. It's bringing in stormier weather starting later tonight. It's also bringing us cooler weather as we wrap up this week, heading into this weekend. And this system, it's actually the leftovers from Tropical Storm Mario. As it continues to wring out its moisture, moving its way to the north, it's going to bring in some stormy skies for us into the evening hours tonight, early morning hours tomorrow. We're monitoring this system very closely as it pushes its way throughout the bay and all the way throughout the Sacramento Valley too. Of course, rain is great, and we love rain here in the Bay Area, but what we don't love is lightning activity, and that's what we're keeping a close eye on when it comes to that storm system moving its way throughout the Bay Area throughout the next 48 hours. So let's take a look at something else too. It's not only bringing in some stormy conditions and some showers in the forecast, but it's also delivering some cooler weather. I mean, we're talking about daytime highs down into the low 80s today and tomorrow before we get a little bit of a warm up as we head into this weekend's forecast. At the same time, we still have some unsettled weather early next week, as early as Tuesday, so that's something else we're keeping a close eye on. But for now, take a look at this night and day difference. Today we're in the 70s in the Bay. We're holding on tight to 70s tomorrow with stormy conditions moving to the north into the evening hours tomorrow night.
The family of a San Francisco police recruit who died in training is demanding answers. They filed a governmental claim as a precursor to a lawsuit. They're trying to get more information about the incidents. The parents of Jean-Marc Palm says that the police department is not being transparent around the circumstances of their son's death. SFPD said that Palms had a medical emergency during a training exercise on August 20th and then died 2 days later. The family said that he died during a hand-to-hand combat training exercise, while the medical examiner's report shows that he died because of a condition caused by extreme overexertion. The attorney for the family says that's not the complete story.
According to the medical examiner's report, John had bandages on his head, indicating he probably received a head injury.
Attorney Brad Gage says that the SFPD transferred the lieutenant overseeing the exercise a day later and let the captain go on leave for a month. SFPD says these changes were planned prior to the incident. Still, the Psalms family wants to know why their son is dead.
I don't care who you are. Training, you shouldn't die in training. If this is a controversial training exercise, then why have it?
Well, the family is also raising money to pay for a second autopsy. The San Francisco Police Department says they cannot comment on any litigation, but that, quote, decisions on staffing changes at the academy occurred before recruit officer Palm's tragic death. A new push to stop smash and grab robberies in San Jose. Police and prosecutors are teaming up to try to speed up response times. They're trying to prevent something like this from happening again. Earlier this month, robbers stormed into Kim Hung Jewelry. The 88-year-old owner was hurt. Now the city has announced a plan to offer grants to help connect small business security cameras to the city's real-time investigation center. Once an alarm is tripped or there is a 911 call, the tech allows officers to see what's happening and react.
When a business participates in the program, our department members can see a crime as it happens using camera feeds that they authorize, and then we relay that information to responding officers. This is a game changer.
The DA is also giving $50,000 for businesses without cameras to install concrete planters. The goal there, to make it harder for thieves to drive into the storefronts. 200 businesses are expected to take part in the program. Well, these past few years have seen a rapid evolution of technology, and those changes are being felt in the classroom. That includes artificial intelligence, and more schools are embracing the use of AI as an educational tool. Kenny Choi went inside a classroom in San Francisco to see how some third graders are using it.
At Glen Park Elementary in San Francisco, students put on their headphones, read aloud, and get feedback in real time.
So right here, what's happening is he's learning how to pronounce the word, and he's watching the person on the screen say the word, and then he'll say the word.
What would take hours to provide one-on-one tutoring for her entire class, the third grade teacher can get data-driven reports about reading proficiency levels in minutes.
It's an exciting new tool, but there's lots of pieces that help kids become better readers.
Tenny says Amira is just one part of the language curriculum.
Got it.
It listens to students, uses AI to assess their reading skills, and then offers individualized tutoring and instruction.
I would describe it as a person that's talking to you, and it's telling you to read, and whenever you make a word wrong, it'll tell you if you made the word wrong and try to spell it out.
You can read the book that you have at your seat.
Her students spend about 10 to 15 minutes a day using Amira. They also read on their own and listen to Miss Tenny read aloud. Robbie Torney is AI Programs Director at Common Sense Media.
Parents are kind of in this moment where they're asking, what should we do? Do these products work? We know we want to improve outcomes. Can these products be part of the solution?
He believes what's happening now with AI education tools is similar to the early 2010s when laptops and edtech software became commonplace inside classrooms.
It was a little bit of a wild west for a while, and it feels a little bit kind of like the moment that we're in right now with AI.
Common Sense Media has issued strong warnings against certain social companion apps and chatbots for teens. Amira doesn't fit into that category, but it is part of a growing number of edtech AI tools being used in schools.
A lot of these products are really unproven. They don't have the evidence behind them that shows that they really work. And I think that, frankly, is just one of the concerns or questions that sits behind a lot of these products.
As studies on these new tools are conducted, Ms. Tenny believes Amira is making a difference.
I saw that the kids really were able to build their confidence.
That's why her class is all in.
Over the last decade, the number of job listings asking for AI skills has soared by more than 600% in the U.S. And in the last year alone, the number of AI-related job postings has increased by more than 100%. Coming up next here on CBS News Bay Area, there is more to lowrider culture than low and slow. We're going to introduce you to a father and daughter team taking the tradition to new heights. Plus,
She survived the Khmer Rouge genocide by staying silent. Now an American citizen, she's become a voice for Cambodian Americans.
Stormy weather is expected for us into the evening hours tonight. That lingers into our Friday forecast. And take a look at these numbers too. Daytime highs today and tomorrow, both holding on tight to the 80s. This is our inland forecast, by the way. Places that were dealing with 15-degree above average temperatures just yesterday are finally starting to see that relief in sight when it comes to cooler weather. And the rain is great too, but what we're keeping a very close eye on, of course, is the thunderstorm activity. If we see lightning, that's what we're concerned about here in the Weather Center. We're going to continue to monitor that closely today and tomorrow before we clear up heading into this weekend.
Well, the countdown is on to Saturday's Lowrider Parade in San Francisco. We've been bringing you stories about lowrider culture all leading up to the big event. And while the parade is going to feature vehicles traveling low and slow, there's another side of the culture that is all about how high you can bounce. Ryan Yamamoto visited a hop shop in Hayward where a father and daughter are taking the lowrider game to new heights.
Something I grew into in lifestyle.
For nearly a quarter century,
since I was about 13 years old,
36-year-old Daniel Jimenez has been fully planted in the Bay Area's lowrider culture.
Mr. Chad Oliver's 78 Cadillac DeVille, single pump, 12 batteries, does about 80 inches, give or take, on the bumper, 350 motor, tunnel ram, nice, good little car, could drive on the street, just something fun to play with.
Where his specialty has nothing to do with getting low. Instead, it's all about height, up to 70 to 80 inches off the ground. Where his expertise lies in the hydraulics that makes a car bounce.
Different tonnage, which is the thickness of the coils, batteries, pumps, pump heads, which are what go inside and push the oil out to the rest of the car, hose size. Everything plays a difference when it comes to the cars, and sometimes they take a little fine tuning.
You seem to talk to the car.
Yeah, you got to. You got to see what the car wants.
Daniel learned the art from his father, and today he is passing down that knowledge.
Next one, that's for both backs to go up. The next switch over is the back right.
To his 10-year-old daughter, Natalie.
She has a good time. It's time for us, me and her, to bond together. I don't have any sons, so closest thing to it I'm gonna get.
But it's more than just mechanics.
Wait, hold on. We got a little kid on the switch. Oh, man, we got a girl on the switch.
That's Natalie on the controls at a car show in San Jose last year.
A little early. Good. Perfect.
We're back home in Hayward. Practice on the switch makes perfect.
You just gotta be calm and you gotta, make sure you're hitting it at the right time. So this line makes it, when you hit it this way, it makes the car go up. And you have to hold it down for it to actually go down.
For Daniel, it's a proud papa moment, especially as his business grows to not only include hopping, but full restorations of lowriders and other vehicles.
You know, with my daughter stepping into it, it's gonna make me stick around a little longer.
A family business he hopes can reach new heights.
Well, we also had some lowriders parked outside our station last night as we kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month. It was an Una Familia celebration hosted by our very own Len Ramirez, featuring dancing, food, and an appearance by the mayor, Daniel Lurie. Here is a look at those lowriders that made their way outside our building ahead of Saturday's parade.
It's a historical moment in the Mission District of San Francisco to have the first lowrider parade in the world televised on CBS. We got lowriders come from all over the United States.
We are going to bring you that lowrider parade live this Saturday, September 20th. It's going to be the first time, as you mentioned, a lowrider parade has been televised start to finish, and you can catch it beginning at 1 p.m. Pix Plus, 44 Cable 12, and streaming on the free CBS News app. Coming up here on CBS News Bay Area, we are going to meet the Bay Area woman who escaped the notorious Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia. She is hoping to make sure her culture is not left in the past.
To me, culture, language, arts are the glue that keep us together.
As great as rain is for us here in the Bay Area, the big concern has to do with the thunderstorm activity. We could see a chance for lightning in the forecast as we head into the next 48 hours, and that's what we're keeping a very close eye on. Of course, we are in the middle of summer, and it is still fire weather season, so that's what we're monitoring closely here in the Bay Area. By the way, take a look at these numbers around me. A lot more mild, right? I mean, we're talking about 80s into the Santa Clara Valley, 70s up into wine country, 60s along the coast. That actually puts us right where we should be for this time of year in certain pockets of the Bay, a little bit below average, anywhere from San Jose all the way over into places like San Francisco. You pass the Golden Gate Bridge up into the North Bay, even cooler conditions up there. Santa Rosa, 6 degrees below average today. And you take a look at the next 7 days. What does that do for us? Well, we're going to continue to see daytime highs below average today and tomorrow before we start to slowly warm up as that area of low pressure moves its way to the north. We're also going to dry up too into this weekend. We'll return into the 90s in the East Bay and the North Bay by Sunday into Monday, but we're still monitoring some unsettled weather as early as next Tuesday. That's going to be the next storm system we keep a close eye on. For now, though, the first system moves in tonight. And as it moves in tonight, we're going to keep a close eye on rainfall totals. And we're also going to keep a close eye on those daytime highs staying below average as we head into our Friday forecast. That's how we're kicking off this weekend with stormy weather, which is wild to think that earlier this week, the big story, like I said, had to do with moderate to high heat risk. This system's going to move in. It's going to bring in a decent amount of showers, especially in our inland spots. We'll clear up as we head into this weekend. We'll see sunny skies to kick off next week. And just like our inland spots, we're going to monitor that storm system next Tuesday very closely.
More than 40 years ago, some 150,000 refugees came to the U.S. to flee the oppressive Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia. One woman who resettled in the East Bay was inspired to serve newcomers who came to America to start over. Sharon Chin introduces us to this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award winner.
Sambo Lee's backyard is a stage where American-born children learn Cambodian dancing.
To me, culture, language, arts are the glue that keep us together.
With every graceful step, 11-year-old Morgan Vong keeps the beauty of her culture alive.
It brings me happiness, of the thought that I'm preserving my culture.
Sambo's dance and language classes are saving what was lost, precious traditions that the Khmer Rouge wiped out during the Cambodian genocide decades before. Sambo lived through those terrifying times as a teenager forced into hard labor.
I witnessed a lot of traumas along the way, burned buildings, dead bodies around the roads.
She lost 12 out of 17 relatives, including her aunt.
One night, they pick her up, and she's gone. And I can't even cry, because if I dare to cry or express my feeling, I might be taken away.
Sambo details in her book how she stayed alive by staying silent. But when she came to the U.S. as a refugee in 1981, she vowed to become a voice for newcomers.
I used that trauma as a strength to help my community.
She's been an interpreter and translator for nearly 40 years. For the last 2 decades, she's managed and trained them at the Alameda Health System, the county's safety net provider. She's chaired the annual Khmer New Year event in Oakland for 15 years. And she founded the nonprofit Cambodian Family and Children's Services in 2016 out of her home. She teaches traditional dance every weekend to students like Juliana Paisan.
She's teaching the culture to the next generation of children.
Sambo also extends a helping hand to many families in citizenship applications, family petitions, housing, and senior citizen services. Alyssa Chanthi says Sambo was like a grandmother to students, a respected teacher to their parents.
Me and my family look up to her. We think that she's a really big inspiration to everyone, especially to the Cambodian community.
And a role model to Jake Vong, a student who now teaches what he's learned.
She does a lot of community service. I see it, and then that basically inspires me to want to do more for my community.
For Sambo, each day of life is a gift.
Every day that I wake up, I am thankful that I have life and I can contribute back to my community. I am very happy.
So for her service to the Cambodian American community and other newcomers, this week's CBS News Bay Area Icon Award goes to Sambo Lee.
Sambo also founded the nonprofit Cambodian Community Development, Inc. in the 1990s, and she served for years helping provide services ranging from language classes to housing help. You can nominate a community hero for a CBS News Bay Area Icon Award at kpix.com/icon. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ann Makovic. We're going to be right back with your first alert forecast and another look at your top stories.